Barriers to Business Progression, Session 1. This is a series of videos looking at 24 barriers to business progression. So often the barriers to business progression are talked about in terms of economic barriers, commercial barriers, infrastructure barriers. I want to throw out a completely new perspective on what I believe now are the fundamental barriers that are stopping business and the cutting edge activity that creates healthy economy from actually moving forwards and evolving in a healthy and progressive way. The first barrier that I want to talk about is what I consider to be an issue of balance between three core pillars that must work in balance for a business to be sustainable and to grow at a pace which is manageable and not detrimental to the culture or the morale of the workforce, and allows people to evolve into the strain of the business as it grows. So these three pillars are, firstly, commerce. Commerce is something that there is huge business intelligence around creating wealth and how to do that effectively through development of products and services, costing of those services, ranging them from a basic level service up to a 5-star or a premium service, and how all of that works. This is all commerce, what we call commerce. The second important pillar is people. People I want to talk about from the perspective not just on the skills that people bring to bear in executing a business and delivering products and services, but also the emotional bank account that people bring to a business, their energy, their motivation, their commitment, their sense of aspiration. These are all qualities and aspects of people which we're only just beginning to understand is the potential, if you like, of the business having either people as liabilities because they are problematic, because they don't get on, because they don't understand what the business is trying to achieve, to actually seeing people as the greatest asset of a business. The key challenge here is to unlock that potential, to deal with some of the negative potential that can be there in our relationships within business and within work amongst people, and to understand where that comes from and what that's about. So that's the second pillar, is people, an understanding of people, understanding of commerce, understanding of people. The third pillar that I want to explore is what I call purpose. I think for most people growing up, moving towards work, I certainly remember this myself, and in conversations I had with a number of my peers, work was about going into work to earn money to pay bills. And I think increasingly, with the changing world we live in, younger people with the information technology and the access to a global network now at their fingertips are looking for more than just work being about earning money and materialism and having that material, the trappings of life that give them a material quality life. They're looking for a sense of purpose. They're looking for a sense of meaning, a sense of satisfaction, a sense of fulfillment in what they're doing. And I think increasingly the leaders of businesses and those of us who are creating opportunities, we need to consider what fulfills people, what gives them a sense of connection to the business, to the working environment, beyond their need to earn a salary. And we need to consciously create a sense of purpose that is significant and meaningful, and also appropriate to the world that we're living in today, so that it feels like it's addressing some of the bigger challenges that we are facing as we move into the 21st century. So that's all about purpose. Commerce, people, and purpose. And for me, one of the biggest barriers to business progression is where there is an imbalance in those three pillars. Quite often, the commercial agenda dominates. It creates a driving force within the business which doesn't allow for sufficient communication and collaboration within the business, so people feel marginalised. They can even feel bullied by the business. They can even feel frustrated because their ideas and their opinions and their views are not actually valued, and there isn't a space for that to happen. So commerce quite often is something that railroads over some more basic needs that people have to feel that they belong, to feel connected in. And these things can be addressed by looking at induction processes, looking at how we recruit people and what we're actually bringing people into, and knowing what we're communicating to them, and have a vision of creating a support network or a community within the business, and that we stay vigilant to not allow the aggression that so often exists within the commercial drivers within business to overrule the human side of the enterprise, and the human needs that people have to be heard, to be valued, and to feel supported within that business context. The purpose area also of the business is something that I think can bring about that harmony between the people and the commerce. Is if the business has a clear sense of purpose, why it exists, then actually it can engage people in a way which is more deeply connected to why the business exists. It reduces competition between people from increasing their salaries and being competitive within the business to be better than other people, and unites people around a common ground, a common sense of understanding of what you're all trying to achieve together. So the other imbalance that I see is so often leaders within business are not fully articulating what the purpose is, the why behind the business. Sometimes they know it themselves but have a job to enroll other people and to articulate that or communicate that. Sometimes it just doesn't exist. People have fallen into business because it's a way of being autonomous, not being an employee. It's a way of making money. And they forget that actually the business needs to have a sense of purpose for the people coming in to help to drive that business. Otherwise, they are held to ransom around needing a salary. And these are the challenges that we face moving into the 21st century.